Hi everyone, this is where we left this last time, this needle felt seascape that we're doing. There's our rocky headland and our rough waves there that we've made from all kinds of bits and pieces. Today I'm going to concentrate on the sky and the sea. You see how I've used a light blue felt background, and I've added some very fine bits of roving wool where I just use the tiniest little smears, and doing that allows me to sort of have different colors in that sky instead of just the blue. I've also got to decide, where am I putting my horizon? Which bit is the sky? Which bit is the sea? I want that to be a definite line. But as for the sky, I'm just adding some different bits of blue in at the moment, and I'm hoping that as I go, bits will be suggested, or that, you know, I will see clouds and things in it as I go. So I'm going to get some pale grey, I think, or white, and see if we can make some clouds. Here's some grey, and I'll only use a tiny bit. I'll just get a little bit off there. Noticed in clouds sometimes that they have grey underneath and maybe some lighter colours on top sometimes. Well, that's what I'm aiming for. So I've got to decide where my clouds are going to be. Do I want... See how I had this dark blue stripe here? I might start with putting some there, I think. Just to obscure that, shade it into a different colour. Straight in and out with my needle, punches those fibres through that felt base. I'm just using an acrylic felt, and into the sponge that I'm using underneath. Nothing fancy. And then, as you can see, it punches it through. But look at that, we get a blended little bit there. I quite like that. I'm going to hide that bit as well, I think. I haven't quite decided yet. Now that's all very flat. If I wanted to, I could get some, and I could make a little rounded kind of shape, you know, and pop it in like that. And I can shift this around. I can make things move a bit. Two roundish shapes there. That might be a good start. I'll just do a little bit more grey, and then I'm going to grab some more white kind of colour. Yeah. I can make bits of it thicker, manoeuvring it like that. I'm almost losing that, aren't I? So I'm going to go above it. Not too worried at this stage, because I can add or I can take away. Can you see how just using those little bare minimum bits really picks it up. I'd like something over here as well. I can go back and add as much to it as I want, where I want, added to as I like. See, I can poke that back up. I want that to be more circular. Move it around. I've still got this. What I'm wanting to do is I put a dark colour on my horizon, just to differentiate that that is the sea. And I want it to be flat. So I'll just start with this. It's very important that it's straight, because that's my horizon. Remember we had this as well. This was a tassel from a jumper I threw out, which I really liked. See how the back is going to be more straight lines, and as we come into the bigger waves crashing, we'll change that up a bit. This kind of thing won't felt in too well. Little bits of it might, but just putting this thin gauze of this roving over top, very, very thin. Little bits of that are going to poke through and look like little waves in the distance, little caps. I'll get something slightly darker for there at the end. So what else does our picture have? It's going to have sky, this headland with the crashing, and we had intended to put something here that was like a rock, hadn't we? Now someone was asking me, I see this is a linen. It really wouldn't matter if it was linen or not, but the main thing is that I could see through that. See how far apart these warped and weft threads are? That is what makes it be able to do this. So someone contacted me and they said they haven't been able to find fabric that does it. So a scrim or something like that would be good. I've used old bandages that I've dyed, all kinds of things. See how it'll do that? This one's a different colour on one side. That's very useful. I think I'll make a more... Where do I want my rock to be? Does it want to be that big? That's probably too big. Something there like that would be good. But for that, I'm just going to get some of this brown. And I'm just going to shade some areas in. This one's nicer. If I didn't want that all the way up there, I'd just turn that under. But what's going to make it stick is putting the wool over the top. I might put another little tiny rock here, just to break it up a bit. And what is this that we've got here? Well, I think we can still use it. Something like that. Now, what other piece? I did have another little piece of linen here, left over from kits that I make. And it's got this lovely sandy colour and this pale green. And that's perfect. I'm just going to do this a bit. I do this quite a lot, this, playing with these fabrics, manipulating them so that they'll make something pretty. I'm just going to pop that there. It's just like drawing when you're shading or colouring in something, and maybe you were doing a face, you know, when you needed shadow and light. That's what you're doing, different tones of colour, shadow and light. I'll put a little bit more of this stuff in. I like the look of it. Because this is a sandy colour, we're leading into the sand now. It's all coming through there. I want to put something here though. What have we got? Look at this. Tiny, tiny, tiny smear. Bringing a little bit more of the colour from the sea down into it because I don't want it to finish too quickly. Look at those colours. Sometimes it's a good idea to get further back and have a little look at it as a whole. Your attention can be grabbed by a single area, you see, and you need to step back and see the whole thing as a whole. Remember we had this, some tatted lace. Just going to take a bit of that. I'm going to pop that up there. No, oh, maybe it's crashing onto these rocks. Tiny bit of this on the top to keep it there. So start looking around at all the bits and pieces that you could use. And think of a nice picture that you could create by adding all of these lovely things in it. You know, I think that I really should stop. I should leave it for the next video and we'll finish it off. Maybe just a tiny, tiny bit more. This is what you call a mindful practice. You totally lose yourself in it. So what I'm doing here, well, I just decided a little bit more of this lace here. We'll make that a frothy cresting wave. We'll make some nice ripples coming through onto that sand. You know, we're getting ideas. And these are things I'm wanting to build on in the next episode, I think. And we'll finish it off. But I really like what we've got so far. The background is there. We've got suggestions of where we want to work. And I think it's pretty good. So needle felting is a really great craft. I think it's well worth having a go. Now, if you have enjoyed my video, don't forget to press like and subscribe. I've left a donation link if you would want to send a little gift. And I thank you for watching. I really do hope you've enjoyed it and you'll be with me next time.